Okay, hi Artem. I want to make a quick video to talk about research and working with me on research because we didn't get a lot of time to talk yesterday. So I just wanted to go through some things via video because I know reading takes a lot of time and sometimes you don't have a lot of time to do that. So hopefully you can just watch this video or listen to this video and it'll be a lot faster. So first things first, email me anytime you have questions about anything. I'm always available for questions. A lot of times there's a miscommunication between researcher and faculty, and I don't want that to happen because you think that I'm assuming one thing and I think you're assuming one thing, and then it goes like weeks without communicating, and we can avoid all that if we just communicate from the get-go. So that's first and foremost. I want open communication. Even a simple question as like, if you say, I'm just too busy, I don't have time to read up on how fuzzy logic works, can you just give me an elevator snapshot of how it works? Or I'm happy to do that. I know learning a new topic on top of all your schoolwork and work is a lot, and I applaud you for taking on research, so I want to make the research as easy as possible. The caveat is no research is going to fit perfectly into your schoolwork, so you have to learn a new topic or pick up a new topic in order to do research. So, but I know that you don't have a lot of time to do that. So I found finding faculty who are willing to work with you and teach you along the way are the best to work with, and so that's what I try to be, because there's no sense in me saying just learn it and then you have to spend hours and hours and hours learning 15 new topics along with all your schoolwork and all your work and then getting stressed out. So no sense in all that. When I know things, I'm going to share them with you, and if you don't know it, ask me, and I'm more than happy to learn. The biggest thing, though, is that your eyes are going to be crucial to what I'm looking at. So the thing that I'm looking at for the security research is how the networks communicate, and then how they set up their rules for deciding what is good and what is a bad packet. You know, like if somebody's coming in with a packet of information, we basically these manates have to let them in because they have no idea if it's good or bad, because there's no way to detect where the wired connection is coming from because it's a wireless connection. So they have to allow, so basically the way it works is they send a SYN request, and then the manet sends an ACK request back saying, yes, I am available to host you, or allow you to connect to my internet. And then the person says, okay, I want to connect, and then they SYN-ACK back, and it connects. There's no way to tell if it's a malicious person on the other end of that, or if it is a good person on the other end of that. So basically I'm thinking that we have to allow them in and allow them to connect. It is what we do after that, and that is what an intrusion detection system does. It says, okay, you've connected, that's great, but we're not going to allow you to copy, read, write, do anything to any of the files on our system until we verify that you are good. So verifying that somebody is good once they've connected is how we are going to do our security check. And that's just a bunch of rules that we're going to set up using fuzzy logic. And there's a bunch of fuzzy logic systems out there, because 0 is, it's not even close, 1 is, it is close, and everybody's got an opinion on how you determine what goes in between those two numbers. So there's all these different calculations, and we can play with all those. But if you have, from your point of view, and this is where I need your help, this is where you come in. If you have, from your point of view, a different idea, or you see something differently, please tell me, express your ideas, anything, because I'm more than willing to, explore those as well. Just because I came up with it doesn't mean that it's the way to go, and vice versa. So we can explore anything, but fresh eyes are always, fresh eyes from a new perspective are always helpful too. So, so writing the rules on how, when something is connected and into a node, so let's say somebody is connected to your home network, so then we have to say, it's deciding, we have to do some kind of check to make sure, it's like if somebody connects to your home network and then they want to say, copy all of the files on your computer, well, how do we determine that that person is, like when I travel and I connect to my home network, I get these warnings saying, you're an unknown computer, you're logging in from an unknown location, because if I've logged in for the first time from a really far location, the system detects that and it says this location has never been logged before, so we have to log these rules somewhere and determine, hey, maybe a computer from China trying to copy files might be a malicious computer. So that's the type of thing that we would say, I don't think that you're really a real person that would legitimately want my files, so I'm going to say you're malicious and kick you out. But then we have to say, well, if you are a real person and you're logging in from China, then do you know the password for the system? And if you know that, then you are a legitimized person. So it's playing with the rules, and then it's determining how many of those checks do we want to put in. If you only put in location, do you put in, one or two? Do you put in time that they've logged in versus what they want to do? If they're only logging in, they're only reading, that may be fine, but if they just logged in and they've only been logged in for a minute and they start writing or wanting to write, that might be suspicious. So I don't know. But anyways, so that's what we can look at. And to set this system up, I will have to talk to Dr. Rushi because he has set up a network in his cybersecurity lab. But it wouldn't be too hard. But anyway, so as long as we come up with a novel approach, which is a new idea, and we can submit it and we can get it published. The key is just to get your name out there and get your name and get something published, and so that you can learn how security network, how antiviruses and how intrusion detection systems and all that work. And they're really not anything more complex than just a bunch of rules that just get bounced around. And so I can let you borrow my my ethical hacker books, and whatever you want to borrow. But please ask any questions that you need, and I'm more than happy to answer anything. But basically, it's going to be figuring out that membership function in between a good connection and a bad connection. How far on the good connection do we want to allow somebody to be before we allow them into our system? Because fuzzy logic can say, you have to be 80% in order, and then there's some models that say no, you have to be 50% or more. So there's a ton that you can do on fuzzy logic. I contacted my my doctoral mentor, and he actually, it was funny, he suggested doing bridge security on he suggested doing bridge security, I think. Let me see this. One thing years ago, a civil engineer looking at bridges and weaknesses noticed that weakness is fuzzy. So basically how they design bridges and any type of civil engineering structure is that they take a certain degree of fuzziness into consideration. So if a bridge is not 100, so all bridges have some degree of fuzziness built into them. They cannot be 100% structurally sound, basically, because if they waited until a bridge was 100% structurally sound, there would probably be one bridge built in the entire country. So they have to allow it to have, either the material is not right for the conditions, or the location, is too busy for the type of material on a certain scale. Nothing is going to be 100%. So they have to weigh all of those things when they look at how to build a bridge. And so all the weaknesses is just the collaboration of all the degrees of how not strong a bridge is. So that was an interesting suggestion. Maybe not anything to do, maybe we could actually write an app to determine if you wanted to do that. I see an app coming from that would say, take in the bridge's material, age, and determine the weakness factor to calculate a bridge's, because bridges' weaknesses are a big thing in this country. So we could even do that. That may be even a little bit easier to do if you could calculate out how, if we look at the past bridges that have failed and then find an equation that would work out to be how do bridges fail, and then find an equation, and then you could plug it into this. That might actually be a really good, if you don't want to pick that one up, then I'm going to present it as a senior project. That might be really good. But anyway, so there's all kinds, and even if you think of something on your own, please present it, and I'm happy to. I write code in my sleep, so I'm happy to help you write code and actually help you. I'm OCD about that kind of thing, so I usually don't sleep if there's code to be written, because I absolutely love coding. So anyways, but he says computer science, soon to be computer and cyber science at the Air Force Academy. So there's always cyber in there. So it's always good to have that in your back pocket. So anyway, but please let me know if there's anything. What I suggest, if you ever need help on any of the topics that you're searching for, I suggest going to scholar.google.com. Under my library, you should be linked to, I'm trying to figure out where this is. Nope, not this. Under settings, go to library links and then search for Western Washington University, and it will link our library. It should. Mine is already linked anyway, so I'm not sure why it's not already linking here. So if I search for, let's say I search for this, go under my library. I swear to God. Anyway, if you go into my library, you should be able to enter your www, and then it should link the library. And then if the PDF isn't available, it should be, sometimes they'll say find it at www, and then you can link it, it'll link to our library at www, and then you can get it free. And I don't know why I'm getting these stupid things. Okay. And it's not, okay, so anyways, what you want to do is find something in the last, since 2013 is usually good, unless you're looking for like what Amana is or what fuzzy logic is. If you're just searching for general information, then you can do any date. But if you're looking for what has been done already and you want to add on to that, then you search for since 2013. So if say I'm looking for an idea for research, then I would open an article like this, and I would go to the conclusions and future scope. So this is going to tell you what they did in a nutshell and what they didn't get to, where there's future research opportunities. So this is great to pick up, and then you can do this is where I got my idea for my dissertation research, and it's great for picking up ideas for future research, you know, if you had like ideas that you wanted, but you didn't know what to do with those ideas or areas, then you could search for those areas or search for those ideas, and maybe there's an article that has those areas, and you can look in their future research, and maybe they did something cool that you could add on to. So it looks for, so this one says it could be the fastest growing area for future research in terms of detection techniques. In the future, they are concentrating to develop a new intrusion detection that could be used to classify the normal and malicious activities in the network. So it looks like they're actually using the system currently to continue to work on it, but it looks like it's the same thing that I was just talking about, to classify the normal and malicious activities in the network. So, and I'm sure that their ideas aren't going to be the same as ours, because there's 15 million ways to do fuzzy logic, and I'm sure nobody, you know, has the same two rules. Because I had no idea what Segueno type 2 was, so I had to look that up myself. But anyways, so again, I know I'm hitting you hard with all this research stuff, but if you're passionate about the project, you tend to work harder, and you tend to love your research, and you tend to put your heart into it. So I really want you to be passionate about what you research, and then it really just becomes fun, because you have kind of a stake in it. So I really want you to find something that you really like, and if it's none of my ideas, I seem to like find ideas randomly. Like I have an idea for all these gas trucks that are on the road, since ISIS seems to be like hijacking vans and driving them into crowds. What's stopping them from hijacking a big gas delivery truck and driving that into a building and blowing it up? So my idea is to have a remote system where remotely they could track these trucks and have a remote kill switch on the engine. So again, another idea randomly thought of, could be useful, could be an app that a senior project does, or it could be a research app. But anyways, just think about it and let me know and then I want from you what you expect from me as your faculty advisor. And then I want to know your availability for the term, as far as like work schedule and class schedule. And then we'll set up a meeting schedule. Usually want to meet once a week to discuss where we're at, what we know, what we've learned, and what we plan to know, so that we can keep on track with our research. So yeah, so that's what I expect moving forward. Once we have solidified an idea, you know, whichever one you want to do. But anyway, I was just thinking of these things as I was driving home, and wanted to reach out and figured a video was easier than typing it all out. So hope to hear from you soon.